Yeah, guys, I will roll the disclaimer as usual, and we will get started. So please read the disclaimer very carefully, because as you may know or not know, trading involves a lot of risk, and you should be knowing what you're doing. This is for educational use only, and I just show you the way I see the market and nothing else. So yeah, take a look at this disclaimer and consider that before you start trading. Germany, hello. Petra is from Germany with CL Hedge Funds. Carlos, hello Carlos. How are you doing, my friend? I hope you're having a great Sunday in Portugal. So yeah, welcome everyone. Let's get started and try to keep this for one time under the 1 hour. It's been very hard to do that, but I will do my best. As usual, we're gonna have 5 to 10 minutes questions where I can answer your questions, or if you have any pairs you want me to look at, park that until the end, and we will you will get a chance to ask your questions, or if you have any particular charts you want me to look at. So yeah, let's get going. We start with the Dixie, and as we've been looking at the Dixie last week, we've talked about the break of this major trend line. And the reason I said it's a major trend line, because it's on the daily and it starts back in the May 2016. So it's a year-old respected trend line that got broken when we got this gap after the election in France. What we also had, that we start trading below the 200 daily moving average, and as the one of you who've been following me for a while now knows that I usually my bias on the daily time frame when we're trading below the 200 moving average, I usually used to look for bearish in this situation, bearish scenarios. And I send a lots of charts in the many in my own Facebook page, PAFX, which you have here. Please feel free to like this page, because I post a lots of charts, and the Dixie was one of them, and we were talking about this break and retest of this trend line, and we got another day confirming that we will start trading, the dollar is gonna start trading downward, and that's what we got. So what we have now is this Fibonacci extensions, cause I was looking where to find the areas where the price may have some troubles. We did break the 1.27, and we are heading now again toward the 1.618 Fibonacci extensions. At that same level down here, we have also this support level, and if we look more left, you see that it has been acting as resistance. That's why I'm expecting next week that the Dixie may have some trouble here, or at least a reaction at this level, and from that level we will take our decisions. So if I see Dixie next week coming to this area, got a daily rejection and another confirmation to the upside, that will tell us that we maybe have a sort of reversal of this level, and that does not mean that we will do this move, but at least it will, if we get rejected and another day confirmation that we possibly gonna do a retracement a little bit higher, maybe retest this broken structure as you see here and here, we have an important structure that got broken and never retested, so that maybe give us a retracement to this level where we possibly can look for a trend continuation trades to the downside. If you're a counter trend trader, of course this is your opportunity, is to look at this level. If you got rejections, then you can take your counter trend trade from this level down here. Hello Sabah, hi, glad you make it. You have lots of things to do on Sundays, I know, when you have family, so glad you make it and that you are here with us. You didn't miss a lot. So yeah guys, that was about the Dixie, and it's a very important thing to do, that you look for the Dixie, because as you know, that is the dollar index and will involve lots of your trading's decision for the coming week. So make it a habit to look at the Dixie before the trading week, so you know how to play it. Yep, the gold. So looking at this chart, what can we say about gold? Are we in a downtrend now or not? And that is a very big problem for many newbies traders, that they having big problem knowing what is the trend at the moment. And that's why as I tell many traders to try to find some educational materials to learn about the structure. I did publish a video in my YouTube page about how to read structure. Well, it is a short one, but it will help you a little bit, and I'm thinking to do another one a little more detailed. But if we actually take a look at the weekly on gold, and we just talk about this particular move here, this only move here, not this whole move from up here down. Okay, so in this particular box we are actually in an uptrend, because as you see here, you have our first high, higher low, higher high, another higher low, and now we're heading up. So right at the moment, and as I said, talking about this move only, we are in an uptrend still, even though we had a major sell-off of the gold, as you see here, to the downside. Gold didn't make a lower low, lower than this low, and not lower than this low on the weekly, and we still have a higher high, and now we're heading up again. What happened that we got rejected for one day at this level. I was expecting gold to have problems breaking this area last week, but it didn't break it to the upside very strongly, and close above it and above the 200 daily moving average. It did a retest. If we go down to the 4 hour, as you see, it did a retest this area here again and started to going up. But what we can see from this move to the downside, those 3 candles was very strong to the downside, and they did delete all the bullishness that this candle do. And if we're looking at those 4 candles, 4 hour candles here, the move to the upside is a much slower than the downside move, so which can give us a little bit of a bearish flag on the lower time frame 4 hour. So what we can look at for gold for next week is we want to see if we're gonna break these highs or not. If that happens, then there is a possibility that gold want to keep heading higher and maybe retest those levels. So this area is still very important for next week. Around the 1260 area is a very important level to look at. And as I said, this is only one possibility is what we have for next week. If we got the rejection at this level, then there is a big possibility that gold gonna go down and retest this area here, down at 1241 area. But as far as we have a lower high than this high here, we can now start maybe looking for a possibility that gold will start going down. So a lower high here followed by a lower low below this trend line, that will give you the ultimate answer that yeah, you can start selling gold. As far as now, we still have bullishness in gold, and we should watching it very carefully at those level. The 1260 level is an important one, and of course if it break it, then we should be looking what will going on at the 1290 level. Okay, oil, same goes here. What we have is we did break to the downside. The 51.50 support level was respected and got broken. We did make a major low, we did make a lower high also, and then we got this another lower low, and now gold heading up. So the level I will be looking at for next week is of course this structure here, this old resistance that was respected in the past, as you see here and here, and was acting as support. And at that same level we have the 0.78 Fibonacci retracement. So this area up here, it's a very important one to look at and see how oil will act at this level. If we have any bearish evidence at this level, then there is a possibility that we can sell it for at least a where is my arrow? Come on, trading view, work with me. Here we go. Bearish evidence at this level that will give you a chance to sell it, to back down to a retest of the 48.90 area. And if this got broken, then of course we can aim for the 45.50 again. So this trend for now is to the downside, and you can add a trend line if you want to follow the trend line. And as you see, if this trend line got confirmed, that means we need the third touch. As far we have this one touch here and another touch here, and to be a confirmed trend line we need the third touch. So if we got the third touch in this move to the upside, and the rejection at this level where we expecting price to got rejected at the resistance, then that will give us the confidence to try to short oil back down to these levels here, the 49, or even lower if the 49 got broken. Yeah, so Forex, why do we start with the Aussie JP? Let's see, Aussie USD. The move here is also to the downside, guys. We're still in this channel, and oops, as you see here, we have this downward channel. Aussie did find support back down here, and if we look left, we know why. This level here has been acting as good support in the past. It got broken, and now it's acting as support again. And what I were looking at is where price is actually testing right now, or a little bit higher at the 0.75 area up here, is where I'm looking for rejection to try and take a trade to the downside for a retest of these lows back down here. I have this line here is minor support on the 4 hour, and as you see, when I go down to the 4 hour, the reason I have this support line or resistance line now is because has been acting as a good support on the lower time frame. The 4 hour, we have this triple bottom, got rejected up and then got broken, and last week we had some rejection at this level at least twice. Price couldn't break it, so there is a possibility that we maybe not retest this structure up here, and what we can do is put our counter trend line here. If you are more of conservative trader, you want to see this counter trend line broken, retest it, and then you can enter for a short trade to the downside. Yeah, but for me, if I see that this trend line got broken a little next week, I wouldn't go long just for that, because I think the major resistance gonna be at this level up here, the 0.75 area here, 749. So there is no reason to start to go long just because we break this trend line, because it is very close to this resistant level here. Yeah, but in any case, the trend is still to the downside, and we should be looking for short on this pair. Aussie Jappy, let's go to the daily. What I'm looking at for next week is a possible, if Aussie Jappy comebacks up to this level, that would be a great opportunity to trade this high of the channel for another leg to the downside. That will be my first take on this one. I would more prefer that scenario, that I will trade it to the downside. There is another possibility if it comes down and test the low of the channel first, and what you want to do is to look for bullish evidence at this level to try the bounce to the upside. It looks like we are trading in this lower channel, and that's why we should be looking to trade sell the highs, buy the lows. For a bearish evidence or bullish evidence, you can go down to lower time frame at the 4 hour. What I recommend is the 4 hour, because you will get much stronger signals than 1 or 15 minutes, 1 hour or 15 minutes. So a bullish evidence could look something similar to this one, when you had this engulfing pattern emerging at this candle here. If you got an engulfing candle at a good support level, then of course that will give you good confidence that you can trade this one to the upside. Or a pin bar followed by another day that we trade above it, or close above the pin bar, that will give you another reason to go long, and you do the opposite for the short. So for me personally, I will gladly to see the retest of the highs, and that will and then at this level I will be looking for bearish evidence to trade it back down to the low of the channel. CAD Chief have been very strong last week, as it is a safe haven, and the same goes with Jappy pairs. And as you saw, the stock markets have been selling off a lot, and money was moving to safe havens, the Chief and the Jappy, yeah. So that's why we have those major move to the downside on many pairs that trade against the Chief. So for the CAS Chief, what we have right now is this double bottom, and we have some divergence on the RSI. For a counter trend trader, because this trend is clearly to the downside, but if you are a counter trend trader, of course you may be very interested to to see if this double bottom gonna work and give you trade to the upside for at least a retest of this structure up here, yeah. For me, I will be looking for trend continuation to the downside, so I will be waiting for correction up, a little bit of correction up. I will gladly see it to go all the way up to this structure here and try to find an entry reason short for at least a retest of these lows, or why not a break of these lows too, because as I said, we are making lower highs and lower lows, another lower high. We couldn't make a lower low last week, and that's why there is a possibility that this double bottom may work and give us a bounce to the upside. So those are the two opportunities to look at, depends on what type of trader you are. If we go down to the 4 hour, you can see that we got rejected, but we didn't get a strong move to the upside, and we are making another lower time frame double bottom here, as you see, a small one. And there is some divergence also, so that this bigger double bottom, if it's gonna go, there is a big possibility that we go all the way up to these highs here, yeah. That's it on CAD Chief. Euro Aussie, the rocket, it have been going very strongly to the upside, and I couldn't trade a lot of this pair for many reasons. Have been very busy 2 weeks for me. I've been taking small trades and short-lived trades. I did a good amount of money, but due to not be really focusing on trading, I couldn't make what the market did give opportunities. As you see, this pair has been performing very well to the upside. It's a narrow upgoing channel, and if we put the 20 moving average, you see that is also can be acting as your dynamic support in this case. So for this pair, the trend is strongly to the upside, and of course we should be only looking for to go long until we reach this major trend line here. It's not confirmed yet because we have only 2 touches. I am expecting that somewhere in this area there is a possibility that the price gonna halt a bit, or maybe reverse a little bit more to the downside, make a deeper correction. So to find a long opportunity on this pair and try to trade this to the upside, and hopefully get a break of these high here, because this high is not broken yet. it did tested this high, got rejected, and last Friday we had another green day to the upside that actually give us an engulfing bullish engulfing to the upside. What we can do is go down to a lower time frame to see what opportunities we have. So on the 4 hour we do have this double top scenario ongoing right now, as you see, and we have also some divergence on the RSI, because it's a clear divergence, because we have almost equal highs, but the RSI is making a lower high here. So what we'll be looking at is to see if this double top gonna work on lower time frame and give us that correction back down to the trend line possibly, and then try to find an entry reason from this level for hopefully a break of this high in continuation, because that will give us a retest of this structure down here, as you see also. So that will be a retest of the trend line and possibly of this broken structure. So as far as we are trading above this 20 period moving average on the daily, and we keep making higher highs and higher lows, there is no reason to go short on this pair. We can go short when we have the reason to do that, when the market show us that is trending to the downside and start making lower lows and lower highs. And that means when we do break this trend line back down here, make a lower high, another lower low, and so on. Yeah, in that case we can start shorting this pair, and what will happen, that the first problem area gonna be back down here, but that is long for that. So as for now, long and long only for me, until the market tells me it want to do something else. Let's see. Ariel, hi Pierre, thank you for always very helpful. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Ariel. And nice to see you here. Lots of countries with us today: London, US, Caribbean, Portugal. So nice to see you guys here. Yes, are we clear on Euro Aussie? I think we are. Euro Jappy, bullish on this one too. We did break above this whole structure that been acting as very good support, resistance in the past. We did break this channel to the upside. We got a retest and price start to head up again, but this high is not broken yet, and for a continuation to the upside we want to see a break of this high here. If this high break, gonna give us lots of possibilities to the upside, as you see if you look left. So for next week I will be waiting on lower time frame at the 4 hours. I will be very glad to see a retest of these lows here, rejection from this level, to give me an opportunity to go long on this pair and for hopefully see a break of this high. So if we get a retest of this structure again, a rejection on the 4 hour maybe, that give us maybe a entry reason on a double bottom with some divergence on the RSI would be perfect. Then I will be try to go long, close my half of my position possibly at this high, and look if the other half will actually break this high and keep going, and then I will trail my stop loss. If not, I will not do anything else, because I don't like to trade the breakout. If this comes in a breakout heat, I wouldn't be take it at the first glance. So what I will be looking at is a breakout, retest of structure, and then try to go long. As far as we trading above this, channel here, I will keep buying the lows here. Okay. Euro USD is almost the opposite of the Dixie, and the same things goes here, but in a opposite way. And as many of you knows, the Euro USD is I think about 55% or 58% of the Dixie. So that's why we have very big relationships to each other. What I'm looking at here is trend continuation opportunities. I want to see a little bit of correction back down, and I will try to keep buying the dips on this pair until we close below the 20 moving average on the 4 hour, and close below it, and give me another confirmation candles to the downside. Then there is a possibility that I take a small position on a counter trend scenario. And why I'm saying that I will possibly take some small position is on counter trends, because we having this hidden divergence, as you see here, the divergence on the RSI. We have higher high but lower high on the RSI. There is that give me a little bit of a signal to start worrying that this move to the upside may give some correction down. Yeah. So in this case, I would take some counter trend trades, but there is more to the upside in this pair long term, I think, because we are now trading back above this structure. Also, we still doing higher highs and higher lows, so we should keep looking to buy the dips, and try to take a trend continuation on this pair until it start moving down and making lower highs and lower lows. So there's no reason to guessing or saying it can't go move higher. Lots of traders started talking about this structure here, that it can't move higher, and you see it got rejected down, and then we got this major gap, consolidated, and start moving to the upside. So try not to guess what will happen. The chart is telling us right now that we should be looking to go long, and we will keep going long until it start to trade lower and start making lower lows and lower highs. Then we will change our view on this pair. As for now, we did break this major trend line. This downtrend is clearly over. We are trading above the 200 daily moving average for the first time since October 2016, and of course We just follow what the chart is telling us, and at the moment it tells us to be long on this pair. Okay. Sterling Aussie, as you see guys, we are at the highs of this channel here, particularly this one here at the moment, and I think at this level gonna be a very important level, and it's a key level, because if this level got broken, then we are back in the Brexit days prices, as you see here, and I'm not sure if the sterling is ready to do that move yet. But the short-term trade is to the upside, and as far as it is showing us that it want to go up. Of course, we want to try to trade it to the upside. If we go down to the 4 hour, we can see that at the first test here we couldn't break these highs, got rejected, got a triple top scenario, and bearish divergence on the RSI was clear, and price did go down, but it didn't go down a lot. It did just retest this broken structure down here, and at the moment we are in this box. I did publish an idea last week that prepare for a sell if this box got broken, that you could find a trade to a retest of these lows back down here. Yeah, so as for now, you can still take counter trend trade on this one, but you want to take them from the highs of the channel. If it gives you a rejection as it did here, and try to ride them to the lows of the channel, and hopefully if you want to see a break of these lows, then you can expect a retest of this trend line here, because that will give you this double top scenario and a possibility for a retest of this structure. But that would be all for me. If I want to short this pair, I will definitely close my position down here at this area, the 1.7069 area, because as I said, the trend is to the upside. I would close at this level and maybe looking for another move to the upside from this level down here. So short term, we have a possibility of a double top scenario here. Look at that on the 4 hour or the daily, as you see here, and if you got that double top at this area and the RSI keep giving you a bearish divergence, then there is a possibility with a low risk trade, because you're gonna be taking the trade from the highs, and your stop loss have a good risk to reward on this one, to try to take one leg to the downside for a retest of this structure down here. Yeah, hello Grumpy, welcome. You are late. Why? I'm just kidding. Welcome, man. You can just see the recording if you're missing anything. Sterling CAD, it's the only pair after the sterling Jappy that did break up and got back to those Brexit levels, as you see here. The closing of the Brexit day here is the support, the resistance in this case. This gap got closed now, as you see here, and it did give us this nice rounded to the downside, and I started to think, oh man, this is gonna break back down, and I really wanted to short it because it looks very, very good and lots of rejections, but actually we didn't break down below this level. Price start heading up again at this structure here, as you see, but then got rejected another time, couldn't make higher high here and start trading down. So this looks like it is possibly getting ready to break back below. Hard to tell, but looking at the wicks here, 1, 2, 3, lots of rejections from the upside. That means that the selling pressure is still very strong at this level, and that the bulls couldn't break these highs and keep going up. So if this pair managed to close below this structure here and below the daily 20 moving average, a close below here can give us an opportunity to try to trade this back down to these lows, or possibly to this area back down here, and that would be a retest of this broken structure that we didn't have yet. We did break this structure with this major daily candle, but never tested, so there is a possibility that it comes down and do a retest before it keep going up, because it looks like sterling is very, very strong at the moment, but that don't mean that the price can go back down, find some buyers, and keep pushing higher. Yeah, so looking at all these rejections, of course that should be the signal that we don't go long against all these wicks to the upside. I personally wouldn't do that at the moment. Sterling Jappy, also very, very strong to the upside still. It did find resistance at this level as expected, because it is a very important level, as you see here. This level has been acting as resistant back here at this structure, and then was rejected back here in December 2016, and this was the first time we do a retest of this structure, and it rejected to the downside. So after this major move from down here up to this level, we got rejected, did find some support at this structure here and the 0.38 Fibonacci's. This can be written in two ways: that we just making a correction to the downside and we will keep going up, and if we go down to the 4 hours, you can argue that the trend is end, and we make one flag, kept going down, another flag, and we gonna keep going down. There is a possibility that we find another break of this flag and maybe do a deeper retest to these lows, and that can possibly happen because we have also some hidden divergence on the RSI, as you see here. These highs are slightly lower than this lower high. Yeah, so we have a lower high on the price and slightly higher high on the RSI. That may be short term telling us that if this trend line this trend line gonna act as resistant, then there is a possibility that we see another leg to the downside before this pair keep going up. That's very possible, and a counter trend trader maybe want to take a break of this flag, or if you see this happens next week, a retest, then you will be very glad to take another long opportunity on this pair, cause this huge move to the upside may keep going up now. It looks very strong to the upside, but of course it need to make this correction down, find some buyers and keep heading up. So there is a possibility for a short-term trade that this, particularly this flag, won't break to the upside. If it break down, if this flag got broken to the downside, then there is a possibility of retest of this structure here, or even the 61.8 is also possible. Yeah, it's not the first time that price go very high and then make some corrections to the downside, but in a strong move like this we usually don't see a very deep corrections, but this pair is called the beast for a reason. So if it goes and do a deeper correction, I wouldn't be in a shock for that. But the main trend is of course to the upside, and the smartest thing to do is to try to find the opportunities to go long, and that level should be where you want to see how price will react in this area down here, to try and find a possibility for another leg for retest of these highs. Yeah, good. Sterling New Zealand, and I hope that Sabah is still with us and listening to this, because Sabah loves this pair. Well, it didn't do a lot the last 2 weeks almost. Let's see how many days. 16 day, 22 days, 16 trading days. Yeah, that almost 2 weeks. And what we have is Sterling New Zealand have been ranging in this box, and it's very clear what to do now. Yeah, sell the highs, buy the lows until one of the side is got broken. The RSI is start to going down now, but the price is still almost at the same levels. So the same goes here. We don't see a break of this major structure here yet. That same structure that the Sterling CAD did break is not broken on this pair yet. And what we can do is go down to the 4 hour, and if you want to trade some short terms trade on this one, then of course what you have to do is keep playing this box, selling the highs and buying the lows until we see one of two scenarios, and those are a break to the upside, a retest and continuation, or a break to the downside, retest, and a possibly retest of these highs here. The first trouble area, if we break to the downside, it's gonna be at this structure. I'm almost sure of that we will have some reaction at this level, and if that got broken, then of course the next major level that price gonna halt at is at this area here, the 1.800 area, and as you see here, this area here gonna be where price possibly gonna halt, or maybe also reverse to the upside. So this accumulation that's going on right now gonna give us a strong move, and let's see which side it's gonna takes. What I see on the RSI, that there is a possibility that this move gonna go to the downside, especially if we got a daily break below the 20 moving average and this structure here. Then you can surely take a nice short on this pair to the retest of this structure down here. Yeah. Sterling USD still trading higher and making lots of boxes are in the making on this pair. As you see, we did break this structure now and did some consolidation, then break above this consolidation and did another consolidation box. And last week we had a break to the upside on Thursday and got rejected, and it was lots of moves on the news. And Friday we did enter this box again. What I can say about this pair, that we should keep looking to trade this to the upside, because we're still having higher highs and higher lows, but short terms it looks like we have this double top on the making, and some divergence on the RSI, that there is a possibility that we see another correction to the downside before the continuation up. And short term, you possibly can take this counter trend trade if it gives you an entry reason more than that we have a divergence, because the divergence by itself it's not enough, but a divergence on the right place in the chart is very useful to use. But please don't go against the trend just because you have some divergence on the RSI, because guys, once again, this pair is trading to the upside, and the trend is still up. There is some room here, as you see, that we keep trading higher, especially if we break the top of this last box. Then we're surely gonna see a retest of this structure. So as far as we are trading above this trend line and this 20 moving average, I will keep buying the dips on this pair until this trend line got broken and retested. Yeah, then possibly another retest of this structure down here before keep going higher again. So long, as far as we are above the trend line and the 20 daily moving average, keep playing those boxes so far. USD CAD, finally, many traders says finally, I think, now on this pair. And yeah, I've been telling lots of you guys that when prices were at this level and many traders were trying to short this one, short terms and late entries, I said the time is not in yet. Of course, those of you who catch it this short at this level, yeah, possibly you are very glad now and just waiting for it to keep heading down. But when I said the time is not in yet, was where traders were trying to shorting from these levels back down here, and got stopped out because the stop losses should be very huge to have them above this high. So when you short here, you possibly had your stop loss somewhere in this area and got stopped. But now when USD CAD did break back below this support area with a very strong candle, then there is a possibility that we start to look at a retest of this structure. Let's go back down to the 4 hour. As you see, we did break this channel now, traded below it for a couple of days, did break down and kept heading down. We have some structure, some minor structure that may act as support now, and maybe give us this possible push to the upside. And what I'm be looking at is the 1.35 area up here. I will be looking at if price gonna bounce back up to this level, give us some rejections and the entry reason for shorting opportunity for a break of these lows and keep heading down, hopefully. If we go back to the daily, you can see that the major trend line, this trend line, is still to the upside, and we did make a higher high above all these highs. So if you want to argue that this trend line gonna hold, and when price reach the daily 200 moving average, or possibly this trend line, that we're gonna see a move back up, I wouldn't say argue about that, because the structure is still higher highs and higher lows, and there is a possibility that USD CAD just give us a correction down and give us another leg to the upside. But as for now, we did the break of those structures are very clear, and there is a possibility, of course, once again, if we have the right evidence at this level, at this structure level here, the right bearish evidence, then there is a short time opportunity to try to hold a short on this one and see if it's gonna give us another lower low and lower high or not. So as for now, from this structure here, we can take short terms trade to the downside on this pair. Okay. USD Chief, a crazy move to the downside, and it did break this structure here. It's a very important structure that got broken. We are back on this election USA election days prices. So on this pair, I will be looking for, hopefully, if price give us a retest of this broken structure, then I will be looking for bearish evidence for short on this one at this level, and at least a retest of these lows down here. Yeah, that would be a very good possibility on this pair, and there is nothing else I would be looking at for a counter trend or something like that. I will just put, and let's do that now, maybe I will put my alert at this price level, and where if price goes back up at this level, then I will get alerted and I will start looking and watching this pair for bearish evidence for a possible trend continuation to the downside. Nothing else on this pair for me, just short for now. The trend is very strong to the downside. USD JPY. Now this pair gonna be a little bit more tricky. And yeah, the trend is right now is in this down channel. We did break it for some days, to the upside, but then we start trading below it again. We did break back below this structure and did find some support at this 61.8 Fibonacci level, where we also have some support looking left at this structure here. And as you see, it did act very well. It did find support and start trading back up. But what we want to see here, if this only was a correction to the upside before it keep going downward. As you see here, we did bounce up and start to make this little consolidating box that also can be read as possible bearish flag, yeah, for another break and another retest of this structure. So that's also possible that we may see that next week. At the beginning of next week, we maybe see a continuation down to this level. And if we go to the weekly chart, what we have is actually lower low, lower high, another lower low here, another lower high. We couldn't break above these highs, so we have another lower high, and we're now maybe in the making of this down move, and possibly that we're gonna get a retest of these lows here, yeah. So for this leg, we're still in a downtrend because we didn't break this high up here. We got rejected, so we're still having those lower lows and lower highs so far. And looking at it this way, that this whole move, possibly a correction of this whole move, that is still also a possible scenario. As you see here, this whole move to the upside here needs some correction, and possibly that's what's going on. And if this whole move want to correct deeper to the 61.8 Fibonacci, that will come at this neckline of this broken structure here. And as for now, we keep making lower highs and lower lows, and why not try to keep trading this to the downside if it gives us the opportunities. So there is actually there is a possibility that this pair keep trending to the downside to a retest of the 61.8 of this whole move before it start going up. The question is when and how long that will take until we reach that level. What we know for now, we're back in this down channel, and for me, I will try to find entry reason to the downside on this pair, especially if it comes and break this structure here, give us a retest, then I will try to trade it to these lows, or possibly to 61.8 Fibonacci retracement, yeah. There is no reason to think of something else, because once again we're back in this down channel. And the last pair is USD Turkey, Turkish lira. We didn't it didn't do a lot yet, as I said before, and I will say it today also. Keep buying these lows. As far as this structure holds, try to buy these lows in expectation of a break of this trend line and a retest and a continuation up. As far as this structure is holding we have this possible double bottom right now, but price got rejected on Friday and gave us this this huge move that deleted all the what the bulls did the day before, as the same as it happened here the week before. But once again, this structure it did hold, and there is a possibility that it may hold one more time. Yeah, so keep buying these lows in anticipation that we go and broke this trend line. That would be a very good long in this case. This major trend is still to the upside because we are still above this structure, and that give me confidence to keep buying these lows. Okay, I think that was the last pair. Yeah, we're back to Dixie. So guys, that was all what I had to share with you today. Do we have any questions or any pairs that you want me to look at? Please write that in the chat right now. I will give this about 5 to 10 minutes, depends on how many questions we have. So yeah, I will take some water and wait for your questions if you have some. And while you're waiting, why not give me some support and hit that like button. I see 6 likes only. Too bad. Let's see, Carlos says, can you check New Zealand USD? Of course, let's do that. New Zealand USD. Well, Carlos, looks like this major level is still holding, and looking at the weekly here, you see that this level is very, very important down here. We did broke it to the upside May 2016, and we still trading above it. So it looks like we possibly we will, let's say it this way, if price give us another move to the downside, why not to try to buy the lows in anticipation to a retest of these highs at least, because as for now it looks like it's holding very well. Many tries to break it, but we couldn't. So there is no continuation to the downside yet on this pair. The best scenario to take this one, I would say, is the break of this trend line. That would be also an opportunity, but of course if you buy it down here one more time, that would give you much better risk to reward scenario. And I know that you are a big expert of risk to reward, and you know what we're talking about. So I would wait to see if price give us another opportunity here and a rejection, and try to buy it from this low. One more scenario is, of course, if price give us a break of this clear structure now. It's a very clear structure that is acting as support. A break of this trend line and this structure, a retest on lower time frame, that will give us, if we get rejection on the trend line, that will give us a possibility to trade this to retest of these highs. That is another possibility for that pair. Yeah. So as far as this support acting well, we should keep buying it from this low in anticipation that we will break back up. So this box now, we need to see that box broken to hopefully to the upside, and if it goes and broke to the downside, then the next trouble area should be at this level down here, the 0.6685 area should be the next support if that box goes broken. And of course we want to see that a daily close below it, a daily close below this rejection down here, as you see. But looking at the RSI, it looks like we had some divergence already back here. We had some divergence, as you see here. This low is higher than this lower low here back down. So we had some daily divergence ongoing already back here last week or the week before, and that give us maybe more confident to try to find an opportunity to go long on this pair. I hope that helps, Carlos. Let's see, did you do EuroCAD? No, we didn't do EuroCAD, and let's take a look at that. Well, EuroCAD did break this almost the same trend line as the USD CAD, as you see here. Sorry, the Euro USD, I meant to say. So this downtrend is clearly broken, and did a retest of this trend line also and kept going up. So what we have to look at right now is this structure back down here. There with this level is where you can look for buying opportunity, and for hopefully a retest of these highs or a continuation. As far as we keep trading above this structure here, we should be looking for long from these levels down here. And if that's happened next week, that price came back down to do another retest of this area, then you should be looking for, or in my case I would be looking for bullish evidence at this level down here, possibly on the 4 hour, for a try to take another long to the upside here. And if we go down to the 4 hour, you see that we have this possible double top ongoing right now, and some divergence on the RSI, as you see here. So there is a possibility that we may see this retest I'm talking about in the beginning of next week. That may happen, and if that happen and price get to this level another time, then you can look at price action and try to find some bullish evidence for a trend continuation to the upside. Yeah. Did you cover Aussie USD? Yes, we did cover Aussie USD and Aussie Jappy. Just look at the recording, Grumpy, and you will find them. Thanks for sharing. Many followers trade Kiwi, and your insight will help. Fundamentally, all downside risk is much lower currently, and buying dips would make more sense. Yeah, that's what I think too, Carlos, on the Kiwi. It is on a very good low level, and of course trying to buy those dips will give us maybe possibly better opportunity for success on that pair. Let's see, are there any other questions? I can't see any other questions yet, guys. Then that means that we're done. another time. I will thank you very, very much to joining me today. And of course, don't forget to hit the like button, and please share these videos on social medias and help other traders to get the benefit of it. So have a great trading week, and as I always say, trade with good risk management. Don't jump in trades without plans, guys. So yeah, see you out there. Bye bye.